kind of started in a little negative here. Here's what we don't do when we get standardized test data. We don't panic. I'm glad Darius said that. We don't panic. We don't make quick decisions. Now, I've been asked by more people over the last 3 weeks, parents, board members, what are you going to do about third grade math computation? All right, and so it takes time. I'm going to tell you about some of the decisions we have made, but we have more to make in this area. So we don't make knee-jerk reactions. We try to be systematic. We look at every grade level. We certainly don't look at and blame the grade level. All right. We don't take sides, Mark said, and I'm glad Mark said it too. We look at other measures too. We don't just look at one test. We're talking about 9-year-old kids coming back in September on a 20-minute test. So we want to keep all that in context. Another thing we don't do is we're not complacent when we get good news. Okay, we like to, when we analyze it, we look at improvements and some interventions that we've made, and maybe some of them haven't worked out well, maybe some have. Okay, and we certainly don't look at that test and think, what can we do to do better on that test? We don't want to teach to the test. So here's what we do when we get standardized test data. Number one, we share it with everybody. We send it to parents. We share it with students in class. We encourage parents to go over it with their kids. And then we analyze it. We really look at student growth from year to year. And that's one of the things that I like best about the ITBS is we take it early in the year, every year. It's comparable for the most part year to year. And we can really see our kids growing at least one full year in all those areas. So we look at students, individual students, and then we look at cohorts too. We look at this whole group of kids. Do they have some universal strengths, or do they have some needs, and what are we going to put in place for them? And like I said before, we look and see the interventions that we had in place, were they effective, and if not, do we need to tweak them? Another really important thing that we do when we get data is we let the teachers talk about it and discuss that. And I feel that that's one of the biggest strengths of, let's take third grade for example. They look at that and they share what has been done, and they try to find out what other people are doing, and then they make some decisions about what changes can we make. So, and then of course it goes to the content area. Every teacher here is on a content area committee. I have 2 math teachers here, two teachers that are on the math committee, and that is where they look at all the data and they make systematic changes if necessary. Starting in kindergarten, what's going on in kindergarten that needs to be done in first grade, etc., all the way up. Like I said before, we're not looking at a quick fix, and certainly we don't want to think of a hasty fix that's going to supplant some success in other areas. Okay, does that make sense? So let me talk about some decisions that have been made concerning math computation already. We know there's a drop in computation skills over the summer. Okay, these same kids that we're talking about in 4th grade, that I think the NPR initial percentile rank was 58 or 59. Those same kids took the ITBS at the end of, many of them took the ITBS at the end of 3rd grade. Those kids that we had any concerns about, kids that were in action math, kids that we had any concerns about, we gave them a math part of the ITBS at the end of last year, and they were very strong scores. There's a lot of growth from the beginning of third grade till the end of third grade. And then they come back and they take a very similar test at the beginning of fourth grade, and there was quite a drop. So we know we have to do more over the summer. Give them some practice, have some summer programs for them. We need to be more aggressive about getting kids to summer school. You know, I'll talk just an example from this past year alone. Teachers recommended 22 students that would benefit from summer school, and 9 enrolled. All right, so we need to be more proactive and get kids to summer school. Mark talked about the math curriculum standards. In every subject area, but we're talking about math right now, all those need to be aligned to a common core. And we know that. We know that going in. We knew this test was going to be aligned to more rigorous standards than the Illinois state standards. Another decision that was made, and this is something that the staff has been working on all year, is we need to do a better job of identifying kids who struggle with number sense. And kind of a quick explanation of number sense, it's not the just recital of math facts and the memorization of math facts. It's knowing what it means to manipulate what 8 plus 3 means. You know, some kids will just tell you it's 11, but if you tell them, okay, what's 8 plus 4, they would have to start 8, count them all the way to 12. So number sense is something that we've identified as there's a population of our kids that are making it through the system kind of and struggling with this when they get a little bit older. Let's talk about time test, because we struggle with time test, and we talk about time tests every year. All right, and I'm going to use Darius and Doug as an example. Okay, our goal, I'm going to say, probably our number one priority in school is what Doug said. I couldn't be happier to hear that his fourth grader loves school. He loves coming to school, and we want that to be instilled in all kids. Okay, and we know time tests can be developmentally inappropriate if done the wrong way. And so we struggle with that. When is the time that we put pressure on kids to do a 27-minute or 27-problem math test in 20 minutes? Okay, so we try to build self-esteem. We want all kids to feel success in math, and so time tests are. We start out, for example, timing them on their personal best. Okay, we're going to do these. You see how far you can get in, or how long it takes you to do these 20 questions. Let's work that way, and then we gradually put more pressure on them and ramp it up a little bit. But it's easy to frustrate kids that way and turn them off to math, and we certainly don't want to do that. And I think that looking at our ISAT scores, last year's ISAT group was in third grade. The same group we're talking about that did poorly in math computation, they were the absolute highest achievers in the ISAT test that we've ever had. Okay, one child did not make standards. I'm just going to kind of go from my memory here. 87 kids took the test. 68 of those scored at the exceeds level. All right, and then 1 with the below. And it's easy to look at that one kid, and sometimes I get caught up in that too, and say, who was that one kid? Boy, if that one kid could have done it, think about the few schools that have 100% kids and meet at exceeds. But we can't do that. We can't look at that one kid and think, what do we do wrong? All right. So I guess I want to assure everybody, you heard tonight that our math scores have gone down 5 years in a row. Okay, that's not true. Okay, math computation, one little part of that has been very frustrating for all of us, because we've tried a lot of different things, and some of them I know we need to do a better job. When we meet with Dr. Wick,